I'm continuing to play Dreams, and I have to admit I'm starting to surprise myself on how designing levels in this game is just starting to make sense now. I was complaining earlier this week to my oldest about how I just wanted to be able to get into the game and make things happen. What I meant by that was to finally lose the sense of confusion when approaching that myriad of game controls. Then something just clicked this week, and I was able to flesh out a quest where you collect 8 shells and a crab pops out of the water to tell you a story. Was it the most elegant of presentations? No. Did it work? Yes. And it even had a strange bit of charm to it. Backing up for a second, why the heck was I making a shell collecting quest with a storytelling crab? Well, that's because Dreams has a community game jam of sorts every couple of weeks. I discovered it about 3 weeks ago and submitted my first piece. The theme 2 weeks ago was illusion for this game jam, and I made a very long hallway with words that floated in the air while you walked through a swirling mist. The words came from a poem I wrote 20 plus years ago about a time in my life where I had a pretty severe allergic response and ended up with beet red eyes for about a month. It's pretty crazy. On paper, the poem is quite short, one of my shortest. In game, it ended up being super overblown and dramatic. I liked it, and it was really fun to make. The coolest thing about this, however, is that by entering it into a community game jam, my level has been played through many more times than it would have otherwise, and even received a few thumbs up from people passing through. Yeah, feels good. So this week's game jam has the theme of storytelling. I wasn't sure what I was going to do at first, but after making a beach scene, I decided to have a crab give a quest to collect shells before he'd tell you a story. That was my basic shtick, a crab telling you a story. Next came making the shells so they would be collectible when you ran over the top of them. To do this, I had to make a microchip that would destroy the shell, make a sound, and send a signal to another microchip that was counting shells. The first night trying to craft the collectible shells was a bust, but after complaining to my kid and a good night's sleep, something just clicked, and I figured it all out. The powers of the microchip. Next was figuring out what to do with the crab, so I made it so that you collected the 8 shells, the counting microchip would then send a signal to another microchip which would delete the small crab and make a large crab and a book appear and cue a timeline. For the timeline, I simply read an old motivational Boy Scout tale I had heard once about crabs in a bucket. This, friends, this wiry mess is why I'm not an electrician. After this, it was all polish. I started adding beach towels, chairs, beach balls, palm trees, basically all the beach-themed items I could find from searching Dreams item directory. I added a dock and a lighthouse, an exit, and a seagull flying overhead. At first the lighthouse was merely going to be decoration, but then I thought, nah, I want to go out there. So I found a raft model and invented a kind of moving conveyor to and from the lighthouse. But what to put in the lighthouse? Why, how about a crab brave, yes? As I kept creating and adding things, then I hit a wall. Yeah, I found a limit on things I could add to the game. I simply ran out of audio space and object space, and then I had to call my project done. It's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying myself in Dreams lately. It took quite a bit of fiddling and thinking to overcome the hurdles I had initially, but it feels pretty refreshing to have made something like this, and the community game jam seemed just like the thing. Happy dueling.